Now, I know, Digital Extreme launched this website with the incorrect passive on it. Her health doesn't go up by 10, up to 1,000. No, not at all. They changed this 6 hours later, so it is wall latching grants Predator's Lurk. That's her passive, rendering her invisible for 8 seconds. I'm torn as to which one of these I actually prefer better, but it was really nice of them to launch their hype page with the incorrect information on it. We can take a guess that that is what they did. Simply down to the fact that we all know this went into cert earlier in the week when the icon changed on console to the Isleweaver logo. That's when it passed cert, so they knew when it was launching. So when they announced it was coming at the end of June, then the next day announced it was coming on the 25th of June, the next day they changed their abilities. All of this took place within the space of about 28 hours. Either way, they launched the website with the wrong passive on it. But they did listen pretty much instantly to the amount of people who were out there saying, can we see all of her abilities in use, please? So they did. So as it stands, her abilities, her first ability I love the look of. You leap onto an enemy and pierce them with her spider legs, dealing toxin damage. I strongly disagree with the fact that they turned around and then added, enemies defeated by this attack have a chance to drop health or energy orbs. In case you didn't know, if you defeat an enemy in Warframe, they have a chance to drop a energy or health orb. Shouldn't this say increased? Hopefully it means it's guaranteed to be a health or energy. This is not actually out yet to verify, but this attack just looked amazing. Webbed Embrace is what has been webbing them the whole time, and they have still left the fact that enemies caught within the widening radius are trapped inside a cocoon that increases their damage vulnerability. Hopefully the longer they're in there, again, she's not out yet, where you can only take certain things as truth from this. And her third ability, Widow's Brood, yeah, you know all those little spiders, the scuttlers that are going around? She launches a barrage of stinging darts in front of her that apply toxic damage. Poisoned enemies spawn scuttlers when killed. I hope there is no limit to how many scuttlers you can have, because this could be an amazing ability. It really could. And her fourth ability, well, that is where her first ability doesn't really make much sense, because she leaps onto an enemy and pierces them with her spider legs, but her spider legs don't spawn until her fourth ability, where you unfurl Oraxia's spider legs and go on the prowl. Silken Stride. Again, we can take this with a grain of salt. Her first ability is just going to summon the legs and use them. It has to, otherwise the ability wouldn't work if you need her fourth ability active, because when you start using a frame, you don't have access to the fourth ability. It is just the way things are worded sounds really weird. But you then go wandering around on her spider legs, being immune to status effects and having increased maximum health. Ranged weapons are imbued with toxin damage, and killing enemy causes them to burst with toxin. This is great. There is a... oh, which one is it? The Silken Thread taps to tap it in the ability, dodges to leap to a targeted surface. So jump from wall to wall. That is how that was being done. Silken Stride actually is, you're going to want to get to her fourth ability and then basically keep it active, constantly using all of her abilities with it, because as aforesaid, when you latch onto a wall, Predator's Lurk, her passive, becomes activated and you become invisible for 8 seconds. You're going to want to be jumping from wall to wall to wall to keep that 8-second duration increased. I would love to see this affected by mods. Whether it is or not, we'll have to wait and see. But damn, she actually looks like she's going to be quite a good frame. The damage that the scuttlers were doing wasn't an amazing amount of damage. I'll admit this one. But they do it a lot of times. They will hunt out enemies who are hiding. They are going to be insanely useful. Her ability to wall latch and hopefully stay attached to the wall without having to keep a button held in, you know, the normal one you would use for wall latching, looks like it could be, it might actually work and is going to be amazing. Would have loved to have seen them sprint while she had her legs out in Silken Stride. So as we can see, if there is a sprint animation for having the spider legs out, there may have been. To be fair, I wasn't really paying that much attention to the visuals for things like that. It was how you attach to the walls, how she looks, the fact that when you aim down scope, her legs disappeared so you can actually see through them. It was very nice of them to actually listen to people, because during this whole video that's been playing in the background, you will notice that one of the Nightwave missions are complete. Pick up 20 energy orbs. Yeah, that was Thursday's Nightwave daily, which means I literally recorded this the same day it was put up. Because people were asking for it, they did it. And I love to see that from Digital Extreme. Hopefully this does go forward and they continue listening to what people are telling them instead of completely ignoring what everybody is telling them, because they should have done this to begin with. Shown what the frame is capable of. Even if it is just little clips that play when you hovered over the abilities on the hype page. Anything would have been nice. Well, they eventually did it, and this has kind of cemented in what her abilities are going to be, or be close to, upon her actual release on the 25th of June 2025. Because they have already gone in and changed some of the things within 6 hours. Whether this was down to departments not talking to each other correctly, or an old version of the page being put up, whatever that was, her passive was launched incorrectly. Some of her abilities were pretty much exactly the same as they are, but the fact that the video is here so we can actually see her did exactly what I was hoping the hype page would do. It took an impressive looking frame with impressive abilities and turned it into a, wow, she looks like she's going to be a very good frame. I would have loved to have seen a spider based primary, but I'll take a whip. The whip looks like it could be fun, even though they didn't really show off the whip. She does have signature weapons that are coming with her that they've basically brushed over and didn't really mention that much, which I love because it still keeps that tiny little bit of, ooh, so what are these going to look like when they appear? And I'm looking forward to it now a hell of a lot more than I was when the hype page went up, because we can visually see what she's going to look like. This is all just down to the fact there wasn't a dev stream this month, because TennoCon is next month. If there had have been, we would have got to see her in use probably about the same time, to be fair. But she looks amazing, her abilities look great. I'm really looking forward to trying her. And her signature weapons. But with that, we'll leave this off here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.